Hey moms, it's me, Queenie, and you are about to enjoy the Empowering Girl Mom Show. We're about to get started, so please make sure you like, subscribe, and share this with your friends so that more moms know that we are here as a resource to support all of us in up-leveling motherhood. I look forward to joining you in just a minute. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hey moms, it's me, Queenie, and you are about to enjoy the Empowering Girl Mom Show. Hello, thank you so much for joining us today for the Empowering Girl Mom Show. I'm your host, Queenie Brown, certified master life and business coach, women's empowerment author, and a mentor to moms. And I'm so excited about today's conversation. We're going to talk about how to 10x your monthly income, moms. I know you can't wait to hear about it. So before we get started, I wanted to just give you some insight. I've talked to so many women over the years, and a lot of women are dealing with financial situations in a lot of different areas. So one of them would be moms or women who were in marriages where they're not involved in making the money. Another is moms who are in marriages where they are making all the money. And then the other is moms who are no longer in relationship with the father of their children, and they are either getting child support, which is a blessing, or they're not. And so I wanted to talk about the importance of us being financially independent as moms, because our kids have needs all day, every day. They're growing. They want to eat every day. They need clothes. They need to have exposure to things. And oftentimes the money that's coming in doesn't meet all of the needs, right? And so we can either sit back and wait for somebody to make something happen for us as moms, or we can get in there and use the gifts and talents and the things that God's put on the inside of us to make some stuff happen. And so today I want to talk to our expert, Miss Lima Maclean. Lima is a high performance real estate investor and mentor. She teaches business owners and 9-to-5 workers how to buy real estate with no money, no credit, and no mortgage. She is a powerhouse in her own right, and I cannot wait to introduce you to her and have this conversation. So thank you so much for joining us, Ms. Lima Maclean.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I'm excited about the conversation today. And so you and I have had a couple of conversations over the last few months, and you said some things to me that kind of blew my hair back. One of the things you said to me was that you don't buy your children gifts for their birthdays, you buy them properties.
Yes. Yeah.
Girl, that's so powerful. So how
Yeah.
did you get started with what it is that you're doing? Tell us the origin story for what it is you're working on.
It I started this journey basically out of a hardship, you know, as a mother and having a hardship. It really takes a toll sometimes. So I was a school teacher years ago, and I had a small son, and my son was born with a brain injury. I was still working at the school district, and but I was always calling out because I had to be with my son at the hospital. So this went on for a while. He started having brain surgeries as a small baby. I stopped counting the brain surgeries, 40, 50. I can't even remember, but I know it was so much. It got to the point that we lived in the hospital for like years.
Mm.
And the school would constantly call me, threatening me about my job. So I prayed. I said, Lord, you have to help me because I don't know. I have this little baby and I have to take care of him. I know he's going to have certain needs. I know financially I'm going to have to be in a position to help him to get the services that he's going to need. So I started real estate was just everywhere. It was popping up, on infomercials. I guess, some people remember infomercials, but they were popping up. I would go to the bookstore and I'm drawn to everything about real estate. So I got a real estate mentor and I started to study real estate investing.
Mm.
And I put my head down and that's all I did. And I remember I would be in the hospital. My son would be in the operating room having another brain surgery. I would be in the recovery room studying my real estate and putting deals together.
Wow.
So I knew that this was the way out for me. And I knew that this was the answer that God had given me. So I would continue to work towards that goal of becoming a real estate investor. And my first deal, it was so funny. It was across the street from my parents' house. As a matter of fact, a property that was for sale. And I got the property under contract. I was supposed to make $5,000 on that deal. And this was years ago, back in 2004. And what happened is I messed the deal up like horribly, but I did end up making $2,400.
Wow.
And once I made that $2,400, I was like, wait a minute, this really works. So I went to the school district and I said I quit, and I left the school district. I walked out of my job. I packed up all of the stuff in my classroom that I needed and I left. And I didn't turn back. So, and here I am today. I'm still investing in real estate.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So that $2,400 changed the game, huh?
Yes, it did.
So how has it been since?
Oh, it's been wonderful. You know, the strategies that I learned, the way that I was trained is I buy real estate using no money, no credit, no mortgage. So I don't know what it's like to have a mortgage. I've never had a mortgage, but I do have properties that I own. So credit was never an issue for me, like none of that. I never had to come to a closing with, tons of money down, any of that, because I was trained to buy properties with no money, no credit, no mortgage.
So how does that work? Can you give us a little cliff notes? I know it's a whole full-blown course that you teach, but can you just give us some insight on how that works?
Yes, we've been conditioned over the years, to that we have to have certain credit score. We have to get a loan to buy a property, to buy a car, and all that. But a lot of people don't realize that back in the day there was no such thing as mortgages. People were building their houses from the ground up, paying cash, or they bartered. Those types of things. So these things still exist today. You don't have to have a loan to get a house, but it's just the conditioning that we've had over the years makes us think that we have to have this credit score and we have to go to the bank and ask them for funding to get a loan. Usually what I do when I'm buying properties is I work with the seller. Whatever it is that you work out with the seller, whatever type of deal you work out, then you can get the property and take ownership of the property. So it's all about working with the seller and working out a deal with the seller that makes sense for both of you, creating a win-win situation. And then you take ownership of the property that way, and you don't have to go to the bank for a loan.
So how would you advise our power moms to like what advice would you give our power moms where this is concerned?
The first thing I would say is you really want to add real estate investing to your goals, whatever your goals are financially as a mom, whether you're married or if you're a single mom. Real estate investing is rewarding, first of all, and it's a way for you to create generational wealth, something that you can leave, to your children. The Word of God talks about how we are supposed to leave an inheritance to our children and our children's children. And that's one of the ways that you can do it through real estate investing. So I would say that you would want to really start looking into that as a way to create, assets for yourself and your family, so that if anything happens, you'll always have, even if you're still here, if anything happens to you on your job, you'll still have real estate, and you're leveraging real estate to bring in cash every month. And if something happens to you, your children will always have those assets, and they'll have the cash flow that's coming in from those assets along with the real estate as assets. So right now, like my children, they won't ever have to worry about a place to live. Like that won't be an issue for them. And I made sure that as the years went by, and one of the things that I've been doing is I started when they were, I guess, around middle school, sixth, seventh grade. I started giving them properties for their birthdays, performing properties, cash flowing properties. So each year I would give each of my children a property for their birthday. So, and it was so funny because I didn't realize that by me doing that, I realized I was setting my children up to be able to take care of themselves and to be, independent. But my daughter just last year, 19, decided to move out against my will. I didn't want her to move out, but, she has cash flowing properties. If she wants to work, she can. If she doesn't, she doesn't have to. She knows about real estate investing. And so she said, I'm moving out. And she did. But at first I was upset. And then I said to myself that I don't want to project any fear upon my daughter, because the word of God says that we are to train up our children in the way that they should go. So when they get old, they won't depart. And that scripture stuck with me. And I remember when I made that decision, that's what I was doing. And so now I was like, wow, it really worked out. And so I was happy about it.
What you're describing is a whole new paradigm shift, because when you think of the stories of parents nowadays, the parents are up in arms because their grown kids have moved home. They don't have the space because the grown kids brought their families with them. And they're struggling to try to fit into a small box house with all these people. And it's a formula for lack, honestly, when you think about the way that many families are struggling through that. And I mean, I came home to mama when I moved my girls and me back home, so it it makes it's just a different paradigm. So now what you've created is a situation where if your kids had to come home, they have homes to choose from. They have
Yes.
home options, and you never have to be displaced. It's
Yes.
it's it's abundance. It's
Yes.
it's overflow, and it's a completely different way of looking at parenting and our responsibility as moms. I'm so grateful for you, girl. That is so powerful.
Yes.
Wow. So there's many other ways to 10x your income. What are some of the other ways that moms can go about that?
It's funny you said that too. I remember even during my real estate investing journey when I first started out, I was still always looking for other ways to make money because, like I told you, I left my job. So I wasn't going back to a job anymore because I knew I had to take care of my son with the brain injury. And he needed me to be there present. I had to literally teach my son how to hold a bottle, how to sit up, how to roll over, how to crawl, how to walk. I had to do that myself, and I knew I had to be there with him in order to do that. So I made up in my mind, I said, even this was outside of real estate investing, I said, I would like to make money every day. And so I said, I'm going to figure out a way that I can make money every day. So I said, I'll start off with something small. So what I did, I started off making $50 per day. I said, I'll figure out whatever I need to do to make $50 per day. I know that I have gifts, I have talents, I have, knowledge, I can help someone. I don't know what it'll be, but I know I can make $50 a day. So I figured it out what I would do, and everyone's different. Everyone can do this. So I started making $50 a day. And this went on for a couple of months. And I decided to stretch myself. So I said, now I want to make $100 per day.
Hmm.
And so I continued, and I kept stretching myself. I kept stretching myself until I made $100 per day. And that went on. And over the years, I've been doing that, even to this point now, that every day I make money, and that's outside of real estate investing. So whatever it is that you have knowledge of, and it doesn't have to be large sums of, sums of money initially. You can start off small, just like I did.
Hmm.
Start off with $50, start off with $25. $25 a day goes a long way. $50 a day, $100 a day, it goes a long way. And then eventually you'll get up to making thousands of dollars per day. And believe it or not, making money is easy. It's not something that's difficult. We've been conditioned to think that it's difficult, but it's not. God gives us the power to get wealth, and He gives us ideas all the time. And all we have to do is, implement the strategy, implement those ideas. Just get out there and start putting it to work, and you'll see a difference.
Hmm. Wow. Okay, so that's incredibly helpful. Now, what would you recommend that she try as it relates to real estate? Where does she begin with that?
Well, a lot of things are online, but if you go online, a lot of the gurus or mentors, they don't teach a lot of what I'm talking about. They teach a lot of other strategies and using other people's money and all of that. But you do have a few individuals that teach this. But you want to start off just researching real estate investing and how to get started in real estate investing. You can also reach out to me. You can DM me. You can send me a message. I'll be more than happy to talk to you about it. But you want to watch videos. You can go on YouTube, type in how to get started into real estate investing as a beginner. It's much easier now than what it was when I first started. I used to have to place newspaper ads. I used to have to, do a lot of driving around. But now I invest in real estate virtually. So you can invest in your backyard, or you can invest virtually anywhere in this country or in other countries. Real estate investing is all over the world. It's a global market. It's not just local. So now you can do whatever you want to do.
So that opens another question. I'm here in Southern California, and I
Yeah.
came from Atlanta. Totally different real estate markets. It's like night and day.
Hmm.
What would you recommend for someone who's in a tight market like this? Like, for instance, in California, it seems most people are buying houses cash, and
Hmm.
they're paying well over the offering price. So we're talking 20, 30, 40,000 over what they're asking. So it's incredibly competitive. Do you find that that's been a challenge for you as far as trying to get properties when you're competing with people who have like deep pockets, especially like other countries that are buying up our properties?
Yeah, I'm happy that you brought that up too, because a lot of that is going on where other countries are coming in, buying up properties in America, and also individuals that are paying cash. But no, as a real estate investor, especially as you get in and you learn different strategies, multiple strategies, the market, it won't matter. And as long as you're dealing with sellers that are actually motivated to sell their properties, which they're everywhere, because even though there are these individuals that are paying cash for properties, if you look at the market, there's still sellers that's out there that still haven't sold their property.
Mm.
So you still have opportunities out there. There are millions and millions of properties listed on the MLS. Some of them are not even on the MLS, and these people want to sell. So a lot of people say, "Oh, this is not the time. The market is bad." On the news they're constantly saying that, but it doesn't matter what the market is. As a real estate investor, especially a savvy real estate investor, knowing different strategies, you will be able to make money. You will be able to acquire properties using no money, no credit, and no mortgage.
So what kind of timeline would a mom look at? So if she decided today, I'm gonna try my hand at this? And should I be able to see an investment and a return in 90 days, 120 days? We talking about a half a year, a year? How long should we expect to wait before we start to see a return on the investment?
It all depends on the individual. To be honest with you, right now I have like an intensive a course that I run, a live Zoom class where the individuals, and it's a 30-day intensive, and the individuals in the class, you're gonna learn how to get your first contract in 30 days or less.
Mm.
So most of them get multiple contracts in 30 days or less. So it's up to the individual. Some of them are working, some of them are not working. Everybody's schedule is different, but it depends on the individual and how serious they are and how dedicated they are. All you need is about 30 minutes to an hour per day to dedicate towards the business, and you're still going to get results. If you apply everything that you learn in that session, you will get results and you will get contracts. And you have to keep going. You just, this is not something that's, some people use it as a side hustle. For me, this is a lifestyle. So, and that's what I started out, years ago. This is a lifestyle for me. I don't, have the luxury of, just, I don't have a job that I can go into as a single mom over the years, being divorced. I had to keep doing deals. So I was always consistent with that. And as long as you're still putting forth the effort, you're going to be closing deals. I was also able to scale my real estate business because I have virtual assistants that help me. I have an acquisitions team. I have a dispositions team. So that cuts down on a lot of time that I have to put in doing some of the small things. So I can just focus on closing deals. So, and I have that in place for individuals too that come into my sessions so that they can learn how, if they're working, they can still close deals in real estate investing.
So, Mom, that's working smart and not hard.
Yeah,
That's working
exactly.
smart and not hard. It makes me think of the Proverbs 31 woman, how she wakes up and she consults with God, and then she gives her staff their instructions, and that's really wisdom.
Yeah.
For us to totally expend all of our energy and effort in all these different areas, it's not wise. We've got to find balance, moms. And so that might look like you putting yourself in a position to hire someone to help you. And
Yes.
there are people who will work all over the world who are willing to support you in making your vision come to pass. And it doesn't have to cost a whole lot. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I applaud you for that. I applaud you. So, what would be the free gift that you would like to offer to our audience to support them in taking these next steps forward?
The free gift that I'm offering are 3 strategies that you could use to buy real estate using no money, no credit, no mortgage. And so it's a video that you could watch and get an understanding of the process of how everything works as a beginner. I even have some seasoned investors that come into my sessions, but this is for everyone. It doesn't matter what your situation is. I have doctors, business owners, realtors, mortgage people that come into my session. So it doesn't matter if you're a 9-to-5 worker. Even now, I have a lot of teenagers coming into my sessions. They don't want to go to college. They want to become real estate investors. So
Wow.
get that video, watch it. If you have any questions, reach out to me. But you'll definitely learn some skills, just pick up a lot of skills just watching that video.
Wow. Wow. Well, thank you so much, Lima. We appreciate your wisdom and insights. Is there any final words that you want to offer to moms? Any tips you want to give her?
Um, the tips that I want to give is to just keep praying, and when God gives you ideas, because a lot of times we have blockages, but open yourself up and yield to God, and when he gives you ideas, start to literally apply those, implement the ideas, apply them, where you can, and you'll start to see results. I do it all the time. And my son, the journey with my son, that journey really, it was a journey that helped to build my faith in a massive
Mm,
way. So it's
mm,
like anything now, that I'm doing, I just go for it. Tunnel vision, head on. And it's not just for me, it's for everyone. So I want everyone to be encouraged, and I want you to move forward with whatever it is, those desires that God has given you, and start to apply them now. Just because you're a mom, it doesn't mean that you have to wait till your children are grown or on all of that. You can have the life that you want, and take your kids on vacations and do whatever you want to do as a married mom, single mom. So yeah, just go for it.
I love that. I love that. And your ability to do that is not dependent on anyone other than you. Because God, through you, God says that He would teach us how to prosper. He would lead us in the ways that we should go. He said that
Yes,
He would increase us more and more, us and our children. And so
yes,
we get to leverage those promises and walk in the fullness of them. And we don't have to wait for anybody else. And that's the blessing of it
exactly.
all. That's the blessing. Well, thank you so much, Lima. We do appreciate you taking the time to pour into moms today. Thank y'all so much for joining us today. This has been a great episode. I'm sure it blessed you. I learned so much, and so many of us have challenges where our income is concerned. And so, this is an opportunity for all of us to just level up, right? She gave us some great tips and some great resources. And that's right, we don't have to wait for anybody else. We have the ability to step up and listen to what God is telling us to do, walk in those instructions, and watch it manifest, right? For instance, this was an instruction God gave me. He told me to create these confession mugs. And on one side, there's a confession, and this one is the mother's mug. It's inspired by the Proverbs 31 woman. And on the back, there's a confession that we get to read as we are sipping on whatever it is. And I just happen to make my coffee. But today, it's basically telling me that I'm a woman of wisdom, of strength and integrity, and that my character is unmatched. And it goes on, and I'll share more with you. If you go to motherloveshop.com, you can learn more, or go to queeniebrown.com. But this is the mother's mug. It's a woman's mug inspired by the Proverbs 31 woman. So this is an example of a God-inspired idea. He told me that we need to keep his word on our mouth. So he had me create a mug that says I'm blessed, one that says I'm forgiven, one that says I'm healed, another that says I'm loved, another that says I'm Psalms 91 equipped. And it gives me the ability to just continue to read and speak the word with every sip. So take your God inspired ideas. When he tells you to do something, go do it. Put it to work, because I promise you there are many, many opportunities right now that all of us can tap into to tap into more income. So, and I'm going to be the first in line. I've got two little ones, and they need me more than I realized, and they need so much more money, and we don't think about how much raising kids actually costs, and everything is expensive. So we have to up level, use the wisdom that God has given us and the resources to create our way out of whatever situation we're in. So I want to say thank you, Lima. We appreciate you. We love you, and excuse me. If you haven't already registered, go to empoweringgirlmoms.com. Make sure that you do, so that we can get the free gifts over to you. It's only getting better, ladies. Now, keep in mind, our intention here is for all of us to lock arms, and over the next couple of weeks, we are implementing the things that we're learning from these speakers, and our intention is to have some testimonies at the end. So make sure that you take notes and share this with your friends. All right, y'all be blessed. Thanks so much for watching, and take good care. Bye-bye.